A stranger is just a friend you ain't met yet.
I mean, yeah, I can talk to fish, so what?
Talent is forever.
Compound B.
I think if there's a way to screw this up, you'll find it.
Bees?
Welcome to Compound B, a show covering the hit Amazon series, The Boys. I'm Jamie G, Esquire the Fifth, not a soup, but working on it. I'm here with my co-host, Magnum Mills, and the Soupdeucer. We're from the Joe Blow Football Show, but the only game we're going to break down here is the Soups versus the Boys. Mills, introduce yourself and give the audience our information and all that general whatnot.
Oh, gotta love the whatnot. And thank you, Jamie G. I am, in fact, Magnum Mills. Nothing cool, spelled regularly, all the regular shit. And thank you for checking out Compound B. It's the only compound you need to check out the boys. And that's not entirely true. There's a bunch of great content out there for the boys. Glad that you find the time to check us out. We really appreciate it. Like the man said, we're from the Joe Blow Football Show. You can find it at joeblowfootballshow.com and on social media at Joe Blow Show. And you can find us at Compound B Pod on social media, all that good stuff. And hey, it doesn't always work out when you start listening to new podcasts or whatever. I just want to again thank you for giving us a chance. And hopefully, unlike my last 12 Tinder matches, you won't leave disappointed. Soup, introduce yourself to the audience if you would, please.
Yeah, hey, what's going on, man? I am the Soup from the Joe Blow Football Show. And speaking of soup, man, there's going to be a lot of soup. There's going to be a lot of soup stirring around, a lot of different flavors of soup going on. I'm looking forward to this new Boys coming up because it's going to be soup induced, man, for sure. So there'll be plenty of talk about all of that and everything going on in the show, around the show. And yeah, looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Something tells me there's going to be a lot of soup with soups going on in the future. Now that we've got the introductions done with, it's time for me to buy y'all a drink and learn more about you. See if we're a fit. Except substitute buy you a drink with I hope you bought your own booze, and substitute learn more about you with talk about the boys. I'll get us started here. This to me is, something that I actually was like curious about the boys, and through doing the Joe Blow Football Show and getting together with my boys on that show off cam, we kind of talked about like, dude, if you're not watching the boys, you really should. And, that was kind of Soup. I think that was Magnum Mills telling me, and I started watching it and immediately hooked. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. This is a show I've been looking for. It was not at all what I thought it was going to be. And I don't know that there's anything with superheroes done this way. Maybe, like this is very cool. Big fan of it.
Yeah, I'll go next here. And the opening scene, obviously, we're going to at least spoil the premiere episode of The Boys here, so be slightly warned. Dude, when A-Train runs through Huey's girlfriend, I had no idea what the show is. It was one of those things, Amazon, like if you went on the Prime app, they were just promoting the shit out of it. And I was like, all right, what the hell? I think maybe Seth Rogen was on as a producer or something like that. And I like Carl Urban. He's a lot of stuff he's been in. He's been great. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll check it out. And dude, when A-Train, it's kind of something at the end of the Game of Thrones pilot, something happens that makes you be like, oh, I have to see the next episode. As soon as A-Train runs through and you see Huey like holding his girlfriend's hands, I was just like, okay, I have to know where this is going. So yeah, that's how I got into it. So yeah. I've basically been watching from, I don't know if they released the first 3 episodes at a time or whatever, but more or less from Jump Street. How about you, Soup? Did you get in right at the beginning, or did you kind of catch up as it was going on?
Yeah, no, I kind of jumped in after the fact because they had all been already out there or whatever, so I wasn't like watching it as it happened. But that benefited me because I could just kind of binge watch all of them, But it did hook me right away. Same thing, like, that opening scene, dude, and they're like, okay, you got me right now, and it didn't disappoint going further from there either. So we'll continue with more of that in-depth conversation, I'm sure, down the road. But as far as grabbing you right from the beginning by the nuts, twisting it, getting your attention, dude, that show fucking did it, man.
With the twist, one thing that is cool that I will point out to the viewers of Compound B, we both watched season 1 at different times. Right. But season 2, we both watched live as it premiered, which was really cool. The 3 of us on this show, Jamie G, Esquire the Fifth, Magnum Mills, and the Soupdeucer. sir. So that was one cool thing. Now, guys, I know that I have not, because when you're, Esquire of the Fifth and MD, Master of Surgical Arts, you don't have time to read. But have either of you guys read any of the comics that this show is based on?
I've just started to read, and my plan is to kind of try to get up through what I understand is kind of the Soldier Boy line that the storyline they're going to do this season. Don't know if I'll get there quite in time, and we're not really going to spoil anything ahead for the comics, but I'm at least going to try to catch up on what we've already seen, because I also love shit like this. I like this world. They're doing a bunch of spinoffs and stuff, so I do want to check them out. So we'll at least have a little bit of a viewpoint on the comic stuff, but we're not going to really get bogged down in talking about, oh, this happens in the comics and such. Just a little comparison, similar to, again, like we might have done for Game of Thrones.
Let's just talk a bit about some of our favorite moments from The Boys. And yeah, you guys get to hear The Boys breaking down a little bit about The Boys here. And guys, I'll go first. One of the things that I loved, trust me, when Huey's finally, getting a little action, dude, and banging, and you see her eyes light up like as she's climaxing, very cool scene. But I'm not going to go there. I am going to say when Huey kills the soup, that to me, that whole like drama of having the soup like, locked up, like that was such a cool chase and adventure. And then he ends up killing the soup and everything that comes from there. That was a wow moment for me. And really was like, dude, I love this. Like, I want to watch more, like hurry up, make more, like make these longer. Give me like a 12. I wouldn't go full 24 where I get like 24 Jack Bauers, but like, give me 10, give me 10 to 12 here would be cool per season. But that was a great moment for me. How about you, Mills?
That's one thing this show does great is they design it as a binging show, but it also works individually because every episode ends in a way that you're like, oh shit, I need to see what comes next. And it's never cheap. Like they never just like create some artificial climax that resolves itself in the first 2 minutes of the next episode. It's very well paced, well written. For me, there's a bunch of good ones, QE, like you're talking about, like, yeah, when they stick the fucking bomb up Translucent's ass. I like the first time that the female kind of regenerates and Frenchie's like, oh shit, like, does he think she's dead? But I have to go with Billy Butcher when they're trying to break in to steal the Compound B. I think it's in season 1, and he takes the fucking baby with the laser eyes and uses it as a weapon. Just that in the way that the bull says, like, it's diabolical, like, just so good, dude. Just him using the baby to just that visual of a baby with laser eyes, like blowing a guy up. You've just never seen anything like that before, and I think it epitomizes The Boys. How about you, Soup Man? What's just one of your favorite moments through the first 2 seasons?
I don't know if I want to call it a favorite moment because of just because of the moment that it is, but I will say that it was probably the most impacting moment. That really was the first time, aside from that opening scene and everything else, but like you said, every episode ends. It's gripping, man. You want to come back and see what happens. So it keeps you fucking right there. But I think the thing that was the biggest, like, hit me the hardest in that was the airplane scene, the airplane crash scene. Not to give too much away there. When the Homelander was up there, you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, that's a great call, dude.
The way that scene was played out,
that finally kind of lays,
getting
like,
in the heads of everybody.
It shows you who these heroes really are, kind of.
Yeah, it was a pivotal moment in the show. I feel like it was definitely a pivotal moment in the show, and for the audience watching the show. It really just like twisted perspectives and everything. And there's all kinds of debate and shit we could go off on, like, tangents and everything else. But I think that as far as, like I said, not really a favorite moment, but the most impactful moment was probably that.
Yeah, that's a great call, man. And that's kind of what we're here to do, because there's a lot of shows that'll cover this to death or whatever. So we just kind of want to have a little bit of fun with it, hit the important stuff. And that was definitely, we're going to spoil The Boys here for the most part. So I'm assuming you've seen it, but that is a crazy scene, and the after effects of it are felt throughout the season, especially with Queen Maeve.
Oh, for sure. There's tremors, dude. Tremors.
Yeah,
man.
Tremors throughout. No, great call, Soup. How cool was it when you first tuned in and you realized, like, oh, dude, this is a rated R joint. Like, we're gonna hear them say fuck and shit like that. Like,
but they use it correctly. They don't. Use it correctly. Like, they don't say fuck just to say fuck. Like, it's properly doled out. And again, even though they're on a streaming service, they could have the episodes go as long as they want. The pacing is always very good on this show. They always seems to end exactly at the perfect point. Like we've been bringing up, that right when you just like if the next episode isn't up yet, you're like, oh man, I gotta wait.
Yeah. Yeah. But that to me, even in and of itself, when I first realized like, oh, it's that type of show, really cool. Let's man, I guess real quick, guys, gun to your love sausage. Who is your favorite character to watch on the show? Man, my heart says Huey, but dude, man, Homelander's kind of my most interesting character. He's so messed up and crazy and wild and powerful and like diabolical, but yet evil, but like a child. It's really complex. Love Homelander. You never know what the dude's gonna do. I'm a Homelander guy. I mean, maybe he had me when he was beaten off, overlooking the city, reflected into the moon. Like, maybe that won me over, but very cool scene there. You know what, dude? Screw it. This is going to be a bit of a spoiler. Like, yes, we're calling you right now. We're spoiling shit. We love The Boys. We're talking about The Boys. This is Compound B Podcast, and we're going to spoil a little bit. What about you, Magnum Mills? Your favorite character?
I think that the show does so many interesting things. So I'm going to give it a tie between the female and Black Noir, because these characters don't really speak, but they're awesome, right? I mean, these are two cool characters. They even had a cool fight against each other, but they don't even have to say anything. And I think that kind of speaks to how good this show is, because you have nonverbal characters that are pretty fucking awesome, right? Like, I take Black Noir like every day of the week over the Deep and like Twice on Sunday, right?
Yeah, Deep is
I
funny,
like shout out what the Deep does, like the characterization, everything is great. But Black Noir, it seems like in the female, both legitimate badasses.
Like,
and
from
both
a
can
fight
regenerate
standpoint,
and like
yes,
come back from death, basically. So pretty cool, I think. So how about you, Soup? Who's like the favorite character to watch or root for?
Man, without fucking copying.
No judgment, no context. Just
yeah,
favorite to watch or root for.
Yeah, I really like the Frenchie dude, man, as far as the most fun character on the show. And he's like, whenever he's on there, man, he has presence, dude. The French dude.
Yeah, him and MM are both super interesting, like as far as supporting characters.
So I'll give him one of my favorites. But I think the most interesting character is one that hasn't really been developed yet, and that's looking into the future here. And I think that's Homelander's kid.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a big deal. So we'll see, man. But that's where most of my like intrigue goes to. But as far as like the fun and entertaining, who I like to see on screen in the episode, I like the French dude, man. He always keeps me entertained, man.
Wow. And that's the one thing I gotta say for the boys, man. Like, as a group, they have great chemistry together. Like, it's one of those things where even when you see them at like premieres and like they seem like to genuinely like each other and shit, and it's one of those things that translates on screen. Like, they just have it's just fun to watch them, right? No matter, like, they could be bullshitting about what food they got for takeout. If they did that for 5 minutes, I wouldn't even complain, because it would be interesting. They're just, again, just fun characters, and they have the perfect chemistry, kind of, you know what I mean? You would just want to hang out with these people.
Yeah, you could make it. You could make a case for any of them being the most interesting. I'm surprised nobody gave a Butcher a guy, but this is going to be fun.
Too obvious, man.
yeah. I think that's absolutely fair. It seems a little too obvious,
but still very interesting nonetheless. This is really just an intro episode. But before we get out of here, how about we all briefly touch one thing? Ooh, and that one
bigger than a baby's arm.
Yes, it is. That
love
one
sausage.
The bigger than love sausage that we're really looking forward to in season 3 of The Boys. I'm just looking forward to having the show back. It feels like it's been a little bit since it's been on. I'm not going to give any predictions here whatsoever. I'm just ready for it to be back and watch The Boys and watch just how bad the soups are and see where this thing goes and just be thoroughly entertained. I'm just looking forward to be entertained.
I kind of have to go with, I want to buy the hype a little bit and say that, like, everyone's hyped this dude Soldier Boy. He's basically supposed to be the boys version of Captain America, which sounds really fun. But I would also love to get more Giancarlo Esposito. Remember, he's still on the show. Can we get some more Gus Fring, please? So I'm looking forward to maybe diving in a little bit deeper into Vought, where Compound V comes from, all that kind of shit. I kind of like the practical implications of the superhero world, where they create the superheroes and shit. I think it's kind of interesting. So, Soup, how about you? What are you looking forward for in season 3? One thing.
I'm looking forward to shocks and surprises, man. I'm just looking forward to it. Like Flo said, another episode or another season of just solid episodes that keep you on more and more. But like I said earlier, I do want to see the development of Homelander's kid. Another thing that really kept me on the edge, as far as what I remember from, I haven't done the recap yet, but from what I remember where we left off, is the whole, like, you know, everybody's head, the political aspect of that, and the one that nobody knew was what she was, and you know, so I think there's a lot of loose ends there that I want to see them follow through with something on that. Obviously they will, I'm sure, but a lot of unanswered questions I'd like to see progress. And you know, I'm just looking forward to a good season of it, man. You know, I think it's gonna be awesome, man. I think they're gonna dive a little bit into the Butcher character. And honestly, I don't know how much the way it started out was all about the Starlight character. Is that the name? Did I get that right?
Yep.
Character, you know, and that's good enough, but I'd almost like to see that get a little bit more attention also, if they do it the right way.
Yeah, because she wants to be like a real superhero, right?
Yeah, just because it
That's kinda
seems
the
like that's how
interesting-
it
she's the
all
one of the
started. It was
seven.
kind of like the foundation of the show almost, you know, or at least one.
I
of the
think it'd be
building
interesting if she
blocks.
could bring over like someone like the Deep, maybe, who's kind of disillusioned and try to have like this, you know, good superheroes versus bad superheroes. I think they'll do that.
Could she
Who
do that
knows?
after having to give him a blowjob though, when she didn't want to? I mean, that would be a tough.
That's forgiveness,
swallow.
right? I mean, that's
Maybe
the real
that
thing
would-
about having forgiveness, and she, you know, is
Apparently, the motion creatures can swallow a heavy load, you know. So we'll see, man.
Oh,
We'll
dude,
see.
I'll never forget that scene with the Deep when he fucking steals the dolphin and he's driving away talking to him.
That was one of
and
the
he has
best
to
scenes of
stop
that
and it
fucking.
flies through the
Yeah.
window in the car. That's when just, you know, right? There are moments when you're watching a show and you're just like, yep, I'm gonna watch this thing until the bitter end. Like, you know how much the boys would have to fuck up for me to stop watching it?
It would
And
take
it's
a
just
lot
how I
of
think, you know, it just a very entertaining show. And it legitimately is good too. That's the bonus. It's entertaining.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's
and
actually
it-
really
I
fucking
mean,
good.
It's got a lot of good special effects too. Like as you just brought up with Deep and shit. There were some scenes with him, aside from him just being a fucking douchebag and shit. The shit he can actually do when they showcase what he can do is fucking cool, man. you
Oh,
know?
and they make him like, I mean, they're making fun of Aquaman, but it works perfectly.
Right.
They're
right. And the way
definitely
they
just
do
making
it,
fun
man,
of Aquaman, but the idea that he goes to like a grocery store and talks to the lobsters and shit, it's just so.
I'm not saying that kind of shit he can do, but
Oh,
like
yeah,
you know,
it's
some of
just
the scenes
whole,
with the
yeah,
you know
yeah.
the big
Yeah,
the whole
his
concept
ability
of the
to use
character.
the ocean, his
Yeah.
ability to use
It's
the ocean as a
ridiculous to
weapon.
begin with. It's ridiculous
cool.
to begin with. Like Aquaman as a character is ridiculous. That's the point, kind of.
Yeah, but
And the
the
show's great
special
with that.
effects they use when he, you know, for example,
Oh yeah, they're
raises all the
fantastic,
waves
dude.
and the dolphins and
Right.
stuff. I get where
Yeah,
shit's
I'm
going.
looking forward to more of that kind of shit too.
Yeah,
Not
I think
necessarily
they're gonna
just
have a
from
big
him, but from
budget now, right? You have to figure that they've got some extra dough, so we're probably gonna see some pretty cool shit this season. You know,
One
not
thing
we
that could be
didn't
really
last year.
cool is if they gain control of the military and then they like infiltrate, like making decisions at a government level. That could be a cool angle that they go with. I'll enjoy it all through.
Yeah, and I'm
season
hoping for
3
some
and
good
beyond.
guest stars too. Think about some of the people they brought in, like Haley Joel Osment, Jennifer Esposito. Like they brought in, I mean, even you know Giancarlo. They brought in great people. So I really think that, you know, I haven't looked at the cast list yet, but I bet you
Yeah,
they bring
let's
a lot.
let's
of great
right
guest
now,
stars.
real quick, be like, who would you want to be on that show as a cameo guest appearance, or like what? Let them get like one episode as a character. Gun to your dick, man. One guy you want to see on that show for like any random character, man. Whether it's a suit, whether it's a whatever the fuck, a civilian, anything.
Kevin
Yeah, 5
Smith and his superpower is insulting people, and if
Nice.
you manage to insult him, he dies.
All right,
JBG.
what you got?
Man, the first thing that popped in my head was Ryan Reynolds, but I'm going to go with our guy, Bob Odenkirk. Shout out to the Saul Over Soon podcast. You should check that out where we cover Better Call Saul. I'm going Bob Odenkirk doing the greatest love in history, dude, all day long. Double down. That would
All
be
right.
cool.
Damn. Yeah, I'm going straight throwback here, man, and I'm going Andrew Dice Clay. I want to see him on there, and I want to see him kill him with comedy, dude. Laughing.
Yo, Dice could be on the boys. That could
Dice
work.
could be
That
on the boys, dude.
100% work. He plays like some random superhero from the, you know, Brooklyn
That
or
could
whatever.
work.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally,
and just
dude.
lean into it, man. I'm the Dice.
And
man.
the show does that.
He's
I
the
think that's
Dice
part of the
man.
reason we love it. Is it really like leans into the controversy and everything? It leans into some of the you know, heavy-handed casting, and I think it's fucking great. Can you believe? I mean, it's like Dennis Quaid's kid, and he's great.
Yeah,
You
Huey's,
know,
Huey's
it's not
fantastic.
nepotism. At least I feel like he's legitimately good. So
Yeah, he's perfect for the character. That about wraps up the intro episode of Compound B, a show about the boys. We'll be back before season 3 of The Boys drops to talk a bit more about what we're hoping for in the upcoming season, maybe some predictors, things like that. Thanks again for checking us out. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Really, really appreciate it. Magnum Mills, tell these people where they can find all of our other absolutely free, totally chill content.
Hey, and one thing I can tell you is if you ever listen to someone talk and they say predictors over predictions, they're talking about finance. So listen to them when it comes to money. And thank you for checking out Compound B, a show about the boys. You can find us at Compound B on your favorite podcast platform and at CompoundBPod on social media. We're from the Joe Blow Football Show, who you can find at JoeBlowFootballShow.com and on social media at Joe Blow Show. We are continuing to cover the final season of Better Call Saul on Saul Over Soon. Again, find us on your favorite podcast platform and social media at Saul Over Soon. And we are doing NoHo Hangout. Barry. We're doing Barry from HBO. We are the Barry Podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform and on social media at Barry Podcast. And we can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Records. Got to get down, baby. Got to get down, baby. We are the Night Pod Cometh, covering It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Find us on your favorite podcast platform and on social media at Night Pod Cometh. Thank you again so much for checking us out again. Lots of great outlets covering the boys. We're very honored that you've chosen to check us out. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. And we're here with the Soupdeucer. And I have to tell you that we spent a lot of time trying to figure out what we would call this podcast. And we did this whole complicated, we flipped coins. There were brackets. There was maybe not a dolphin juggling flaming bowling pins. It was a long thing. But I can tell you that we named this podcast Compound B because the B stands for... This has been Compound B, a show about the boys, presented by the Joe Blow Football Show. We are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with The Boys, Amazon Studios, Sony Pictures Television, Kripke Enterprises, DC Comics, or any other entity. The views expressed here are those of the hosts and the hosts only. They do not reflect the views of any other institution, organization, or individual. Thanks again for checking out Compound B, a show about the boys. We'll see you again soon.